Hello friends of Tony's Little Garden, welcome to another video where today we have a new and interesting video. We are going to learn about a new crop to add to our garden. Moreover, it is a very easy, very resilient crop, ideal for those of us who are just starting because it is very rustic, and the good thing is that it will help us fertilize the soil. This is the lupin. I am going to show you everything about its planting care and how it helps us improve the soil. The lupin is a legume native to the Mediterranean basin. Its cultivation has really shifted a bit, but it is really interesting. It is also known as lupin or tremoso, and its seeds are very nutritious and rich in proteins. Moreover, it is a plant, like almost all legumes, that is capable of fixing nitrogen in the soil, and in this way, naturally improving its fertility. To cultivate it in our garden, we have to prepare the soil. We will do direct sowing. There we have Chispa, who is helping me, and we have 2 periods to do it. In climates that are excessively cold in winter, we will do it in spring. We will cultivate the lupin at the end of winter or beginning of spring. And in other climates, in milder, temperate, or hot climates, we can do it in autumn to take advantage of the autumn rains, and then we will harvest it in the spring. The lupin is a plant that is not excessively demanding in terms of daylight hours, although Isasawinakas can put it in a sunny spot in our garden. That would be great. Also, the good thing about it is that it can grow in almost any type of soil. And another benefit of the lupin, which is how I came to know this plant, is that it is very beneficial to associate them in our food forests. If you notice, those of you who have been following me on the channel for a while and watch the videos know that I have been very interested lately in the topic of edible forests. So this plant is ideal for alternating with other crops in our forest. But today we are going to see how to cultivate it in our garden. Although I have told you that we can grow it in autumn in less cold climates, we can also plant it at the end of winter and in spring. That makes no difference. Simply, in spring we must plant it when the climates are colder. And on the other hand, like almost all legumes, we are fortunate that we do not need to make a large contribution of nutrients to the soil, as they will provide that nitrogen to the soil. And on the other hand, if we provide too much nitrogen, we might face the problem of plants being born weak and being attacked by aphids. So I'm going to put it in this bed. We harvested the sweet potato a few weeks ago, and honestly, it is delicious. I invite you to grow it. I'll leave a video around here. And now we are going to prepare the soil. First, we're going to do a fall sowing, which I also uploaded a video about on the channel that you can check out. I'll also leave it linked on the screen. And afterward, we will focus on planting. So in my case, I'm just going to use the double-handled pitchfork to aerate the soil. Really, the benefit and why I always emphasize when a crop is rustic is that it is an incredible ease when cultivating. And normally, they are much more productive and resistant crops. So with the double-handled pitchfork, all I do is aerate the soil and prepare it for sowing so it is nice and loose. Additionally, as you can see, it is really an incredible soil for any type of crop. Although if we had to say which is the best soil for the lupine, it would be a sandy soil that drains very well and doesn't require excessive nutrients. The more nutrients, the worse it will do for the crop. And it is also important to know that it needs, for its best development, a pH in the soil between 5 and 7. I leave you another video here on how we can measure pH at home. It's just that look how loose the soil is. Let me show you, because I am super proud of having improved our soil to this level. We have a living soil. We have been doing all this on the channel year after year. You have seen the evolution, and it truly is incredible soil. So perfect, not clayey at all. Now we simply pass the rake to remove clods to level the ground and make it easier to sow, and also to remove, in my case, pieces of wood that are too large and haven't decomposed. And little by little, we are really leaving the bed incredible. Or in 5 minutes, we will have it ready for planting. Look how beautiful. Do not despair, because this soil wasn't achieved in 6 months or a year. It's the result of many years of work, so sometimes when you ask me, just be patient, keep making contributions, and you will enjoy a wonderful soil. Let's talk a little about planting lupins. We can use lupins by combining them with other crops to make green manure, which we have already discussed on the channel, but I will make a more updated video for you to fix nitrogen and facilitate the absorption of phosphorus for other crops. Additionally, it does not compete at all with other crops, so it's very interesting. Another option for planting lupine is by broadcasting. It can be sown by broadcasting, although I've noticed it's less productive that way. And moreover, I want to have seeds and use them for planting in the next season instead of broadcasting it, which we could really do. As I say, what we are going to do are cultivation lines. So with these rods and a 30-centimeter ruler, we are going to make the distance of sowing between lines. We make one line, we make another line 30 centimeters away. We move our ruler and make another line. Perfect! It gives us enough for 3 lines. We could bring them closer together, but as I said, I prefer it to be much more productive. Ideally 20 to 30 centimeters of separation between lines. And if not, if you want, you can scatter it randomly. The lupin, which has been somewhat forgotten in our cuisine, was often used as fodder for livestock. It is actually very nutritious for livestock and also for us. It's just that older varieties had a strong bitterness that was harder to remove. In the end up is, over time, they have been improved, and these new varieties are great for consumption. In fact, you are probably more used to seeing them canned, right? Things that look like yellow corn, they are delicious. So maybe remis, you can eat it as a legume, or we can make that delicious preserve for snacking. We are going to put a separation between plants. About 20 centimeters. Let me put in 2 since I have quite a few just in case one fails us. And another important or interesting thing is that the lupin withstands low temperatures. It even withstands frosts that aren't excessively continuous. It handles some light frost well. So it is a crop, as I tell you, incredibly. And another important thing I haven't mentioned, I said that you have to do direct sowing, and besides, transplanting doesn't suit it well. So it's much better, as I said, to do direct sowing. That's it. Now I just do something as simple as covering. We can do it with our hand, we can do it with the rake. It is important, as I tell you, that we do not compact the soil, as it does not like packed soil at all. Quite easy, really. We don't need many tools to cultivate in our garden, and our lupine seeds will start to germinate in 7 to 14 days, but don't worry. I'll show you the whole process, and along the way you'll see what the plant looks like when it germinates. And as always, after sowing or planting something, we are going to apply a very good watering, although they're predicting rain today. Let's see what happens. Regarding the irrigation of the lupin, it's interesting to know that, as we mentioned at the beginning, it is a crop from the Mediterranean basin. That gives us a lot of clues about its irrigation. And the fact is that lupin is a crop that in its early stages, in the germination and growth phase, it does need watering. In fact, that's why it's interesting to plant it in autumn or in spring to take advantage of the seasonal rains. In any case, it's a crop quite resistant to drought, so it's ideal for climates where irrigation can become a problem. If we don't have spring or autumn rains, we will apply irrigation once a week. And in this case, it's not necessary to alternate with nutrient-rich watering, since, as I tell you, that can lead to problems of diseases and pests for our crop. A week has passed and our lupins are already starting to germinate. The truth is that it is being a complete success, okay? We have a bunch, there are more over there. Honestly, we are lucky not to have many seeds because we used the false sowing technique. This way, we avoid the growth of many seeds. I'll leave a link here for you to take a look. Another week has passed and our lupins are still growing. I have put some little bottles because they were being attacked by snails. And moreover, it has been very helpful with this strong frost we have right now. But look at how our lupin is developing. Once all the plants have germinated, I will continue leaving them in bottles so they have those mini greenhouses and can develop much more. We're going to apply a very good mulch. Mulching, as we have seen in many of my videos, helps us mainly to prevent competing weeds from growing, helps us improve drainage, and above all, we are adding organic matter to the soil, and also, we are protecting it from solar incidents. There are a lot of benefits that I leave you in a video about the benefits of using mulch in our crops. And while I am mulching, I am going to talk a little about the diseases, about when this excellent legume is harvested. Look how it is growing little by little. The truth is, it's beautiful. As I said, it's been challenging due to the sudden drop in temperatures, but it's evolving perfectly. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this plant is quite hardy and especially resistant. There are few pests that attack it. However, let's go over the usual ones: aphids, weevils, and thrips. And I have realized that during the germination period, one of the most dangerous are slugs and snails. We have a video about all of this on the channel, which I'll leave here, on how to combat them. And in especially rainy and humid climates like mine, downy mildew and rust may appear. And in about 4 or 5 months, we'll have our lupins ready to harvest. We'll make a video on the channel about the harvest, and I'll show you how we need to do it to preserve them. So stay tuned, because this crop, it's worth it. So, well, fellow gardeners, let's wait. As I said, 4 to 5 months, we'll see the harvest, and I will show you images of the progress on Instagram. Also, remember that we have a WhatsApp channel so you don't miss anything I publish on YouTube. I will also leave it in the video description. You open you like Monday the video, but above all, that you have learned about a new crop to introduce into your gardens. So that's it, garden enthusiasts. See you next Thursday on Tony's Little Garden channel. Goodbye.